The air was a crisp, biting declaration of early autumn as Elias Thorne meticulously secured his tent. High in the Monashee Mountains, the sun had already dipped, casting long, bruised shadows. It was just after 6 p.m., thin light painting granite a deep, unforgiving charcoal. Elias, a man whose life was measured in elevation gains, found profound solace here. He'd planned this solo expedition for months, a trek deep into an seldom visited range, seeking profound silence. His partner, Liam, was camped a ridge over, a planned distance for solitary immersion, connected only by short-range radio. Elias moved with practiced efficiency. Inside his two-person tent, gear was neatly organized: sleeping bag unrolled, gas stove, satellite phone, radio. He double-checked zippers, outer fly, inner mesh, ensuring they were fully closed, sealed against cold and nocturnal visitors. The night promised clear skies, but plummeting temperatures. A star-dusted velvet canvas unfurled above, distant suns glittering. Elias took a final swig of water, made a quick radio check with Liam that was met with static, then slipped into his sleeping bag. He was safe, secure, exactly where he wanted to be. The morning light, a pale, watery wash, arrived across the Monashees. Liam, waking in his tent a few hundred yards distant, checked his watch. 7:15 a.m. Time for Elias to be stirring. Liam reached for his radio. Static. Again. Nothing. A flicker of annoyance, then unease. Elias was meticulous about radio checks. Liam dressed quickly, layers against the sharp air. He stepped out, frost crunching, scanning. Elias's tent, a small orange beacon, was perfectly visible, taut, symmetrical, a vibrant punctuation in the vast wilderness. Liam called Elias's name, his voice swallowed by immense quiet. He called again, louder. Still nothing. A knot tightened. He walked, pace quickening. At Elias's camp, the stillness grew heavier. No fire, no cooking smells. He reached the tent. Outer fly zipped, flawlessly secured. Inner mesh door also zipped, tight from inside. No sign of struggle, no ripped fabric, no ground disturbance. It was as if Elias had simply sealed himself in. Liam knelt. He called out Elias's name one last time. Then, with rising dread, he slowly unzipped the outer fly, then the inner mesh. The tent was empty. Sleeping bag unzipped, undisturbed. His expedition backpack, however, was gone. Liam's first instinct was disbelief. Panic, cold and sharp, clawed at him. He scanned the immediate vicinity, desperate for a footprint, any sign Elias had stepped out. Nothing. The ground, dusted with frost, showed no tracks leading away. It was pristine. Trembling, Liam fumbled for his satellite phone. After agonizing attempts, he connected. His strained voice relayed the impossible. Within hours, rotor blades shattered the Monashee's silence. Helicopters crisscrossed, searchlights probing shadows. Ground teams, orange-clad figures, began a systematic grid search. They scoured terrain, descended ravines, climbed vantage points. The search centered on the tent, the inexplicable point of Elias's disappearance. Investigators examined every inch: fabric, zippers, stakes. They confirmed Liam's observation. The tent was perfectly secured, zipped from the inside, with no apparent entry or exit. No damage, no signs of forced entry. It was an intact, sealed enclosure, from which a man had simply vanished. The only missing items, Elias Thorne and his large expedition pack. Everything else, stove, water filter, food, camera, boots, remained, neatly arranged. Elias Thorne did not return. The more the investigation delved, the more unsettling the details became. Every theory clashed with cold, hard facts. The tent stood as an unyielding testament to an impossible event. All zippers, outer weatherproof fly and inner insect mesh, were found fully closed, secured from the inside. This was not a tent hastily abandoned. This was a tent meticulously sealed. The ground directly outside, bearing faint boot imprints from the previous evening, showed no signs of departure in the morning frost. No new tracks, no scuff marks, nothing. It was as if he had simply lifted off the ground. And inside, the sleeping bag, unzipped, was undisturbed, folded back as if Elias had simply stepped out. But his heavy, fully packed expedition backpack, containing survival essentials, GPS, emergency beacon, was gone. Weather logs showed clear skies, cold temperatures, no extreme winds or anomalous atmospheric events. Conditions were stable. No animal tracks of significant size were found. The entire scene was one of pristine, almost clinical, emptiness. Then, the single, inexplicable item left behind. Nestled neatly on Elias's unzipped sleeping bag lay a small, smooth, perfectly oval riverstone. Grey, streaked with white quartz, polished by eons of water flow. Such a stone could not have originated from these high, rocky alpine peaks. It was an object out of place, a silent, incongruous anomaly, deepening the mystery. A quiet, unsettling punctuation mark on a vanished life. The theories, as always, began to coalesce, desperate attempts to impose logic. Was it foul play? Had someone approached Elias's tent, coaxed him out, then meticulously re-zipped it before spiriting him away? But the remote location, lack of struggle, absence of fresh tracks, rendered this highly improbable. No other campers for miles. What about a psychological break? Could high altitude or solitude have led Elias to a sudden, disoriented wander? He was experienced, robust. Even so, how to exit a fully zipped tent, then re-zip it from the outside without leaving any trace on pristine ground? The riverstone also defied this. Why would a disoriented man leave such an object? Some speculated extreme hypothermia, leading to paradoxical undressing. But Elias was inside a high-quality tent, in a heavy sleeping bag, dressed in layers. His tent was undisturbed. Then whispers of the truly unexplainable. Local legends spoke of the mountain's claim, ancient forces taking those who ventured too deep. A modern unsettling theory suggested a sudden, localized atmospheric anomaly, a spatial distortion. The riverstone, in this context, took on ominous significance, a marker, a warning, or perhaps a memento from wherever Elias Thorne had truly gone. The search for Elias Thorne continued for weeks, then tapered into a desperate, sporadic effort, finally becoming a cold case. The vast, indifferent Monashees, with their silent peaks and hidden valleys, had simply reclaimed him. The sealed tent, the undisturbed campsite, the inexplicable riverstone, these details became the haunting pillars of an unsolved mystery. Elias Thorne was declared missing, presumed deceased, but the official pronouncement offered no comfort, no closure, no explanation. His family, friends, and partner Liam were left with the unbearable weight of an absence that defied all reason. How does a man, protected within a perfectly sealed enclosure, high on an unforgiving mountain, simply cease to exist? How does he leave no trace, no footprint, no indication of whether he was taken, or chose to leave, or simply dissolved? The mountains keep their secrets well, and sometimes those secrets are not just hidden, but perfectly, impossibly, sealed away, leaving only the chilling, unanswered question hanging in the cold, clear air. What happened to Elias Thorne inside his tent? And where did the riverstone come from? The wind still whispers through the Monashee peaks, but it offers no answers, only the enduring, unsettling hum of the unknown.